So we want to do something a little different this time. We've done a lot of quizzes and we've done a lot of, for lack of a better term, hazing with Digimon. Thanksgiving is a holiday where we celebrate togetherness and just honestly try to have a good enough time dealing with our in-laws. So I wanted to discuss just
Mitch, I didn't know you had in-laws. Is Mitch married and I didn't know?
I got a couple of hundred.
He's got to see my mom every now and then.
So I just wanted to talk about things that we appreciate about the Pokemon franchise. Just Pokemon that we like, things that we like about the games, our favorite games, that kind of stuff. Just to, vibe out and have a good time. And absolutely, everyone, if you want to answer one of the questions in the comments, I would love to read them. Honest to God.
Yeah.
I want to see that positivity. I want to start out a little broader. I just want to talk about what are your guys' favorite Pokemon games? It can be mainline. It could be a spinoff even. Just what game are you most thankful for existing, I guess?
Ooh, that's tough.
I can start if you want me to.
You know what, Mitch? I want Nico to start because he's holding a Pokemon. So he deserves it. And he's dressed in his Thanksgiving best.
I immediately have an answer for this, and it's kind of like it's not something I would expect myself. I don't have expectations for myself, but Pokemon Platinum actually. I'll say all three of them, but I'm sticking to Platinum just because it's objectively the best of the three. I have the most nostalgia for Pearl because that was like the first Pokemon game that I remember like wanting actively and not just like opening up like Emerald or Sapphire on Christmas and going, oh. It was a genuine like, this one. I like this one. This one is cool. I understand liking Palkia more than Dialga is not a common opinion. Platinum was just crazy creative, especially with the distortion world, and was literally only improvements upon the other two games. Yeah, I love Pokemon Platinum. It's super creative. I love all the Sinnoh region Pokemon. That's about as much as I've got. I love the Sinnoh region, and Platinum did it a lot more justice than the first two games did. Popcorn Kyle.
Popcorn? That's really what we're doing? Christ almighty.
Popcorn Kyle. Wow.
Thanks, middle school Nico.
You got it. A couple immediately come to mind. Sapphire was like my first one I played, so there's a lot of nostalgic pull to that, and I do like a lot of the designs. And then more recently, I'm honestly like, I have like a really special place now for Pokemon Violet, which I know is not a popular take because any of the newer ones are not enjoyed by a lot of people. But the four of us playing it was a lovely experience. We all played it just in the same room, in the same world, because you could just do that now, and it's something I always wanted to do in a Pokemon game. So that's always going to hold a special place in my heart too. I think probably though, if I had to like pick one specifically of the mainline ones for me, I'm gonna have to go with Pokemon Black and White. I know that's not as popular of an opinion, probably. I don't know. Tell me if that's wrong. But I always have loved the plot in that game. Up until like the most recent games where the plot actually does get a little bit more interesting again. I always thought that was the one that actually had like a compelling story to some degree with N and the sages and, all of that. I thought that's very cool. And then even more so, that love for it got heightened by Black and White 2 being like a years in the future sequel where like you see some of these characters like in the future, like your rival from the first game is now the first gym leader. There's all sorts of really cool like continuations like that. And I just like a lot of the Pokemon in the gen. I've always like just loved Haxorus, Leavanny, Scolipede, all of them. Like there's a lot of cool designs in there. A lot of duds as well. I will be completely honest. I don't think some of them are really forgettable, but a lot. I have a special place in my heart for some of them. So I'm gonna probably go Black and White. It's a good one. If you haven't played it, check it out. Popcorn Mitch.
Fucking hate
You get to participate in the video.
Oh my God, Mitch, tell us about your opinions.
It's finally happening. There are three games that immediately come to mind for me. The first one I won't talk about because Kyle already touched on it, is Pokemon Black 2. It's just my favorite mainline game in the series. Probably the best national dex of every single Pokemon game. Just back-to-back bangers, honestly. And then another game that comes to mind is Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs.
Yes!
Yeah!
Dude.
Yeah!
It's Pokemon Ranger representation, dude.
No, I have wonderful memories of accidentally stealing one of my friend's copies of the game and still having it to this day. But I think I might have to take the milquetoast route and go with the Pokemon game I'm the most thankful for is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. For over 15 years of my life, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, the main plot, especially right near the end, was the closest media has ever gotten to getting me to actually cry just from that media alone with no outside influences. It is beautiful. I have such wonderful, loving memories of everything that happens in that game. And to this day, sometimes we'll just randomly yell Yum-Ta. Most of you haven't really heard it, but it happens. It really does. Just, I didn't care for Chatot before, but man, Chatot sucks, dude. Popcorn Tyler.
So I have like multiple games, obviously, in the Pokemon franchise that I'm thankful for. The easy answers would be like my first Pokemon game that I ever played, which would have been Ruby. Not the first one I ever owned, or the first one I ever watched my cousins play on road trips, but the first one that I had a chance to play myself. But seems like it's too easy of a route to go. Also, my favorite Pokemon game of all time is Soul Silver. Also, way too easy of a route to go. Not gonna take it. Tempted to go the route of Pokemon Pinball for the Game Boy Color. Also gonna pivot from that. But that was the Pokemon game I was allowed to play while my cousins played Pokemon Crystal beside me on their Game Boys. They gave me a Game Boy and Pokemon Pinball to satiate my hunger for Pokemon, which is very, very nice and poggers of them. But I am going to go with a game that I have a lot of more like memories attached to, I guess, rather than just liking the game. But I'm gonna go with Pokemon X and Y, actually. I'm very thankful for that. That game, Y specifically, it's the one I picked, but Pokemon X and Y got me back into Pokemon because I was one of the stupid kids who, like, when Black and White came out, I went, they're all ugly. Pokemon's probably, like, past its prime. I'm just kind of, like, not here for it anymore. And I just skipped that entire generation. And then they were like, Pokemon has 3D graphics now, and Chespin is a thing you can get at the beginning. And I went, I am all in. I literally bought a 3DS just for that game. And I remember the weekend it came out, me and my friend Cody, who you all know, we skipped school and my mom took us to Walmart. We each got our copies and we sat there and we played it together all day instead of being at school. And it was just a great time. Also, this was like the month that Kyle and I started like talking to each other and like hanging out. So like I have a lot of memories of like bonding with Kyle over the new Pokemon game, and that was kind of like the foundation of our friendship. So like I am thankful to Pokemon X and Y for bolstering the friendship that I have with Kyle. We might not even be here making this channel today if that game didn't exist. So
it's very true.
Yeah.
You brought it up, and I was just like, I'm pretty sure that's like when we first. It was when we
first became friends. 100%.
I vividly remember us looking at the starters other than Chespin and going,
yeah.
Obviously, we ended up liking the ones we liked, but it's just like,
you were just a person who I knew existed, and then I found out you like Chespin, and I went, we have to have some conversations, young child.
Look at these.
So the second prompt that we're going to discuss is what is a little detail about the Pokemon games? Could be a mechanic, could be a mini game, could be just animation even. It's just something we appreciate about the games that doesn't always get discussed, or even if it does get discussed a lot, is just kind of taken as a matter of fact at this point.
So mine is going to be quick, but in Pokemon X and Y, specifically when you have the rollerblades and you swivel the movement stick real fast and you do little spinnies. Which is just like, they didn't need to put that in. It was just a really cute little thing that they were like, yeah, you got rollerblades, why not? And especially for the fact that it like depended on how fast you were spinning. and how long you spun for like what your reaction was whenever you finished. Because like if you spun it crazy fast, your character was going to get dizzy and go, oh. But if you were like a pretty like reasonable rate, you'd like stick a little pose at the end, and it was super cute. Like they didn't need to do that. Popcorn Kyle.
He's gonna do it, right?
So much silence. I don't know what else to do.
I can't just jump in. He's got to popcorn me now.
Don't let me cook.
For me, this is like, I feel like something I haven't seen anyone talk about in a minute, and it's probably because I don't think a lot of people liked it, but I enjoyed it. Pokemon contests. I really personally liked them. It was also partly because like I watched the anime a lot growing up, and I loved like the arcs with Dawn in the Pokemon contests, and like there were a lot of cool characters that came up. It gave Jessie from Team Rocket a lot of like more character depth because she had more to do when she wanted to be in it with her like ugly Pokemon, but it kind of made me like Dustox more. Like there's just so many levels to the Pokemon contest that they have just completely abandoned as they've gone forward. I fucking love the Pokemon contests. I think they're super fun. There was a lot of like extra just stuff to do. All the moves had like a secondary thing that you like had a cool or like a beauty or whatever. That was really cool. Please bring it back. I loved it. It's underappreciated. Popcorn, Mitch.
My answer is a little weird because it's something that's discussed constantly, but not in the way that I want to discuss it. I like the advent of Pokemon abilities, not as mechanics, but as a way to give more characterization to the Pokemon. I get really upset when a new legendary comes out and their ability is pressure.
Yes.
The ways that they can incorporate like Araquanid, it has the water bubble ability. It's technically not specific to Araquanid, but they just haven't made any other Pokemon that it could apply to yet. And it makes it work in a way, even mechanically speaking, makes it work in a way unlike any other Pokemon. It's just really cool. And especially when they make a signature ability that isn't like hyper specific, and then in the future, more Pokemon get it. They can get so creative with it at so many points. And the differentiation from Pokemon to Pokemon doesn't have to come down to just stats. You could have two statistically identical Pokemon with two different abilities, and they could have completely different roles in the team. It's awesome.
That's why I like Dipplin a lot with its super sweet Europe, where like drops the evasion of the enemy Pokemon when it goes into battle. It's like nothing else is. I mean, it's because it's like the newest Pokemon right now, but like it's a cool signature. I totally agree. I think abilities are very, very cool.
Popcorn, Nico.
I hope you're all enjoying this.
Shut the fuck up.
Popcorn Tyler.
Thanks, pal. Mine's gonna be very short, and it's gonna piss a lot of people off who think that they're better than everyone else. I am super thankful. If there's one thing I'm thankful for in recent generations, fucking automatic full team XP share. I adore that shit. Everyone on the internet who has a fucking complex is like all anal about it. Like, I want my games to take fucking forever and be not fun, and I just want to grind. I don't have a job or a wife or anything. I just want to fucking grind. And I'm like, I don't have time to do that shit. I didn't enjoy doing that shit when I was a kid, which is why I didn't play a lot of like turn-based random battle RPGs outside of Pokemon, because that shit sucks. So putting that in was like, this is the best shit ever. It is saving me so much time that I do not need to waste grinding for no reason. Never take it out. Holy shit. I hope to God that any sane person with like a full-time job would agree with me on that. Who has the time to grind in 2023? Not me.
It's a shame that there's no toggle for it though. You just literally have to have it on
that
always.
Is fair. I mean, I guess it would be nice for those who are masochists to be able to like turn that off.
Yeah.
But I like that it's just there and I don't have to think about it. Be like, thanks, Game Freak. You didn't think about much when you made this game, but at least you thought about my time to that extent. So thank you. Also liked it when you could put stickers on your Pokeball and make a Pokeball say weird words when you
seals. And the last topic that we'll be talking about in this episode, you can take whichever one of those is the best take. Is we're going to be talking about Pokemon that we think don't get as much appreciation as we think they deserve, or maybe just admit that we have bad taste. You're up first again, Nico.
I really like Wishy-Washy. I genuinely...
What is wrong with you?
A lot. You want a list?
You just like wanted to punch the camera. Like get so upset. Like, ah!
Gotta make it like an authentic Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah,
Someone's
yeah.
gotta get upset about someone's take.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't know what it is. I've always really liked Wishy-Washy. I just thought it was really fun. Like there are Pokemon that like basic evolutions are basically like, more of this one showed up. I mean, we have Mousehold now. Magneton is literally just 3 Magnemites. Like, we've had Pokemon like that before, but to have one that the ability is just, yeah, this thing is kind of shitty on its own. It's just a tiny little minnow. That's literally all it is. But when there's a lot of them, they're pretty cool. And like, it's not crazy strong or anything. It doesn't gain any extra, like the stat buffs it gets in its school form aren't wild, but
Yes, they are. It
not
gets
enough
over
to make
400 base power boost.
not enough to make it a high tier Pokemon. So to Mitch's point with like the abilities, like I love the character it provides for it. Like it's a sad little bitch, and then all its friends show up and it goes, oh. I just really, really like him. I like the design. I love the ability. And it's probably my favorite thing to have come out of Sun and Moon.
I agree. It's definitely up there.
Yeah.
I'm on your boat. I like that one a lot.
Popcorn Kyle.
Thank you. I was like, should I just keep talking? I know I kind of jumped in.
No,
Thank
this is
God.
the bit now.
Yeah. No, please continue this. All right, so I know you guys have heard me say this before, at least the 3 of you, but I'm gonna tell the world I fucking love Chimecho. Recently, people thought there were like leaks that perhaps Chimecho was getting an evolution, and now it seems like that's not going to be a thing that happens, which I'm very sad about. But I've always fucking loved Chimecho. My grandma like made me like a felt Chimecho when I was little because I loved it so much, and I know where it's at. I love that thing. It started with the anime with Chimecho, James's Chimecho in the anime. The storyline of that Chimecho is earliest of feeling emotions as a child watching something. Like the storyline of him and his Chimecho is pretty heart-wrenching as a kid. And I loved it ever since. It was also one of the earliest things I can remember where like the Chingling as its first evolution, you have to like become friends with it to evolve, like has to have the friendship increased. And that was like one of the first times I actually had to do that to evolve Pokemon. And I was just like, this thing's like really my buddy, and it's going to get stronger because it likes me. And I like that. Like that thought is like little me's like thought of Pokemon entirely, like the companionship of it. Because of Terra being a thing in the new games, Chimecho is a fucking beast. I didn't know this because Chimecho's only ability is Levitate, which makes it not get affected by ground type moves. Terra Electric, and nothing super effective against you. He learns Charge Beam, which ups its special attack, and it has stored power as an option. Like there's a lot of competitive viability to this thing, but I love Chimecho. Still hoping for that evolution at some point, but I know it's probably not actually happening now. But fuck yeah, Popcorn, Mitch.
I'm you talking about specifically the move Charge Beam. I'm changing my answer from what I had initially.
Ooh.
The runner-up was going to be Delmise. I don't think that it deserves more love. It's not for everyone. I love him. But what I do think deserves more love is Furfrou. What a lovely little guy with a unique mechanic all about him, where you can change his coat, even though I don't really appreciate necessarily that it grows out eventually and you have to pay again to decorate your dog. I like the base form the most anyways. And the reason that Charge Beam made me think of Furfrou is because at one point I found this set because I really wanted to use Furfrou on Pokemon Showdown. I found this set where you give it an Assault Vest, give it the ability Fluffy, I think is what it is. It's either Fur Coat or Fluffy, which doubles its defense stat which turns it into honestly a really excellent defensive beast.
Yeah, really.
It has a semi-decent special attack. You give it Charge Beam and just let it do work. It just made me love Furfrou even more. It's a cute little dog, and I don't remember the last time it's been in the National Dex. I just want to use it again, Game Freak. I just want my Furfrou back.
Another cool detail in Pokemon, it was that whole concept of Furfrou.
It's a shame it's gone. I don't remember the last time they put it in a game.
They should bring it back for the Pokemon that I'm going to talk about. But only if
Popcorn
I get popcorn
Tyler.
too. Thank you. I don't really have many Pokemon that people don't like that I like because I have very good taste in Pokemon and everyone knows that. But if there's one that I think doesn't get enough love because truly he is the greatest Pokemon of all time and I don't think people appreciate him enough. Diggersby is peak Pokemon design and we need to be real about this, okay? He's competitively viable, so like Pokemon Company knows what's up. That ugly motherfucker is so like unhinged. The man is just covered in dirt and shit. He has big chonky man hands on his ears. He's horrifying yet adorable. All in one, like, Homer Simpson-esque package of, like, unkempt dad energy. And I just think that the world needs to respect him more, okay? He gets his own fucking theme park stage in Pokken. And that is genuinely probably where my love for him started, because we play Pokken a lot, and it's just a meme at this point that we always want to play in Diggersby Land, because it's just the best stage, because there's big Diggersbys everywhere, and that's just funny. But I have grown to love him unironically, and the rest of the world should too. If you're not voting Diggersby 2024, I don't fucking respect you.
I will give Diggersby this one thing. Greedent exists, so it's no longer the worst.
No.
But it also becomes
never
a
was.
normal
He was
ground
always
type,
the best.
Which is a cool addition. Like,
Yeah, that's cool.
it actually makes him pretty viable. Like for a Route 1 catchable thing. It's also kind of like B-Barrel, if we're talking about underappreciated Pokemon, that it becomes a water type. And then, like, if you didn't take the water type that gen, you just had a guy that could learn Surf. Like, that was cool.
Yeah. But Bidoof is, like, objectively better than B-Barrel, which is why, like, Diggersby is better than Bunnelby. Bunnelby is just a bunny.
Can we end the video? Can we end the video real quick now?
Yeah, we did the last prompt. We can end the video.
Yeah, we've given enough thanks.
But wait. I know that
We said we're thankful enough, Kyle.